Travis Kelce got slapped. So we are going to give some tarot advice for this situation. This happened on September 5th. It was a pregame NFL match between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The game took place in Brazil, so you can see it's going to be on this repeat reel right here. Let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. The Los Angeles Charger that slapped Travis Kelce out of the blue is B Teair Tart. So let me go ahead and start off by saying that, this is going to be an episode on how to handle conflict, right? And the first thing that we need to understand is that the reason why NFL is so popular in the United States is because it is a gladiator sport. And these are gladiators. They are trained to play professional football, which is basically professional violence. So the first thing that we need to understand is that these are men who have been playing this sport all of their lives. They have been trained and taught how to hit people, right? Especially on the defensive side of things. And so we need to have some empathy for that. But with that being said, B Teair Tart is the Los Angeles Charger that slapped Kelce out of the blue in his helmet on his face, basically. And the thing that we need to point out first is that B Teair Tart, that is a cheap shot. That is a punk ass little B move, B Teair Tart, right? So regardless of the fact that you are a football player and that this is your job, hitting someone out of the blue when they're not defending themselves is a punk ass little B move. So let's just start with that. So the first card that I want to just highlight this as an example of in tarot is the Tower card. This is a tower moment, right? This is a sudden tower moment. This is when unexpected, out of the blue, shocking event occurs in your life. It is meant to, teach you a lesson in a dramatic way, in a sudden way, right? The story of the tower is that these people have been living in this tower and they haven't been living in reality. So the lightning bolt strikes the tower and they have to jump out of the window because they need to come back down to reality. So Travis Kelce and even B Teair Tart experienced this tower moment initiated by B Teair Tart, right? And, the tower is represented by Scorpio, and the other card that represents Scorpio, which I know this is a moment for these two athletes, especially Travis Kelce, is that this was a death moment. Right? So this is something that will transform you if it comes up in a tarot reading. Death is all about rebirth and transformation. It's a card of Scorpio as well as the Tower. So Scorpios, for those of you that are watching, you are masters of transformation. You are masters of being able to handle tower moments. Scorpios can initiate tower moments in other people through their intensity and their power, and sometimes in vindictive ways in their shadow. So this was a death moment for these two athletes, especially for Travis Kelce, because he was sucker punched. Now, the card that I would like to offer up in this situation, because we want to talk about how to handle conflict, and that card is the Three of Swords. Right? So in conflict, when someone hurts you, and this is just an example from, celebrity and sports and the media right now, but this was obviously a conflict. And Kelce in this situation, he has the option to either defend himself or turn the other cheek, right? Which is a choice you will make if you're ever caught up in a situation like this. This can be an emotional slap in the face that someone gives you. This can be a sudden, physical, emotional slap in the face that you get. You have the option of either turning the other cheek or defending yourself. And either way, there is no wrong answer to that question. You are a better person if you turn the other cheek. I don't think you're a bad person if you decide to defend yourself. If you are ever struck violently, unexpectedly, if it was unwarranted, you have every right to defend yourself if you choose to do so. But, I want to offer up the Three of Swords in this situation because in conflict, or when people hurt us, we experience a Three of Swords. This is when pain of the swords gets put into our heart, right? And And the key to the Three of Swords is by practicing forgiveness. When this comes up in a reading for you, the problem with it is that you really start to reflect on all these past hurts. And then when this comes up, it's a scary card. This is the scariest card in the tarot for me personally, right? Like just the way it looks visually, what it symbolizes, the lesson that you need to practice with the Three of Swords as far as forgiveness goes. This is one of the hardest and to me, the scariest card in tarot, because we all have pain in our hearts and it's hard to forgive sometimes. And if you're the type of person that can forgive people that hurt you, like in this case with Teair Tart, then you're going to be a much better, person in the long run. So let's go ahead and do a quick tarot pull on how to handle conflict. So this is going to be how to handle conflict in tarot. And let's see what comes up for us. Okay, so we'll pull 3 cards right now. Let me cut it first. Let me go ahead and cut this first. Okay, so I want to show you, and I will interpret it. The 3 cards are the Four of Pentacles to the Nine of Cups to the Page of Wands. So in conflict, this is saying that if you are holding on too tightly to any conflict, you need to let go of it. Right? This is a card of holding on too tightly. This is a card of, not forgiving people that have hurt you. Even if it's hard to handle conflict sometimes and you're holding on to it, the best thing, again, with that Three of Swords is to forgive the people that you have conflict with, even if you're in no contact with them, even if, it's impossible to resolve the conflict, you need to let go of it with the Four of Pentacles here. And then when you do, you will have the Nine of Cups, which is a wish fulfillment. So definitely with that Four of Pentacles, it's all about releasing past pain, past disappointments, past conflict, especially ones that you can't resolve. Just accept that you can't resolve it, and then it'll lead to a wish fulfillment of, abundance. The Nine of Cups is one of the best cards in the tarot, and it's a card of like being granted a wish. So if you have conflict in your life right now with anyone and you're holding on to it with this Four of Pentacles, right? These 2 cards are saying that once you release that conflict, right, you will have a wish fulfillment. And then you have the Page of Wands, right? The Page of Wands is all about being able to go on an adventure with excitement, right? So conflict is hard. I can't say that I would be able to go on an adventure by dealing with my conflict, right? But it's like if these are the 3 cards that are coming up on advice for how to handle conflict, if you can have a lighthearted approach with the Page of Wands, if you could understand that people that hurt you are wounded, and this is why conflict always arises. I mean, it's the cliche, hurt people, right? So if you can have a lighter energy in handling your conflict, like the Page of Wands here, that's going to be able to help you handle conflict even better. Right. So, all right. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully we all learned something from this. If this ever happens to you, you're going to do your best to handle it the way that you will. But again, you don't want to come back with any sort of energy that is aggressive or angry or anything like that. So you want to, offer up forgiveness to the people that hurt you and deal with conflict in a healthy way. Thank you for watching.